brought me out of, 'cause he brought me out of wilderness.
My name is Taffrika Harewood, and I will be honest with you, this is one of the most challenging things I've probably ever done, is to bear heart and soul to share my testimony with people, because I've talked to people before about how good God is and how good He's been to me, but to be able to share where He's brought me from is an honor, and also challenging. And I say that because even in my 40s now, I am still dealing with the repercussions of wilderness experiences over the course of my life. I really sensed God's call in my life early. I felt that He was calling me to do something really, really big. And maybe it was possibly after my father left our family that I decided that I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. And I began to look for any way, any excuse that I could to not be successful, to not fulfill the call that I felt like God had on my life. And I chose to hang out with friends that I knew were, skipping school, drinking, smoking, doing drugs. Somehow, some way, God held me in that time. But I really felt like I needed their approval, their acceptance. And then I went to, I thought, if I could just get pregnant, no one would expect me to live up to what it is that God is calling me to. So I looked for guys and was having sex at a very young age, and all I found was emptiness, empty relationships, a void within myself, because I knew God and I knew that that was not God's best for me, but I did not feel worthy of anything more, and did not want the responsibility that I felt like was going to be associated with the calling, in all honesty. And even with all of that, didn't end up pregnant. Same continued in college, looking for approval, looking for the protection that I felt like I should have gotten from my father, the approval that I should have gotten from my father, and again, turned up empty. Every guy that I looked to, everything that I looked to, it was less than. And again, just digging a deeper hole, digging myself more into that wilderness experience. And as I grew up, I stayed in church. I stayed active in church. Went through a devastating experience in my 20s where, I thought I found the man of my dreams, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this right. Like, I want to be with this person, But I want to do this the way that God would have for us to. And when I shared that with this person that was, who I considered to be one of my best friends, and like I said, I thought this was the man of my dreams. That man raped me, and I thought, this is my punishment. This is my punishment for doing all of these things against God. He was trying to show me, he tried to tell me, and I wouldn't listen. And from that point, I went into a period of celibacy. And wasn't necessarily even seeking God. I just didn't want to hurt like that anymore. It wasn't, I can't say that I was just searching so hard for him, but he clearly had me, because if he didn't, I feel like I would have come apart, and I almost did. So I'm living life, I'm doing work, I'm really hiding my past and my experiences in church work. Like I just become completely immersed in just doing the work of the church, helping with the kids, singing with the ministries, just anything I could. And none of that was going to make up for what I felt like I had done against God. But these things were what kept me occupied and feeling like I was being a good Christian. Into my 30s, and I met my husband. I met the man that would be my husband, and believe me when I say I had no idea that this person was going to be my husband at all. And I sought God. He asked me to marry him after, a few months. And I thought, I really need to know that this is the person that God has for me. And so I said, all right, God, you got to show me. And he did. He showed me that this was the man that he had for me. And so we married. That first year of marriage was a wilderness all by itself. Because when you're coming with so much baggage into a relationship where you become one with someone who also has baggage, you are not taught in church or anywhere else how to navigate that. And so we just had to learn by trial and error, and it was very difficult. We began to have children within the first year of our marriage. We had 3 children, and we had 3 children. He also had a daughter and a son before we were married. As I learned about God, I learned a lot about how to do church, about how to really how to hide what was really going on in my life and in my heart. And even though there was a longing for God, there was also a lot of inconsistency in terms of how I lived my life and how I was told I should live my life. And as I learned how to hide, what I didn't know is that I was also not giving all of those areas over to God. I was hiding from people, but I was also keeping myself from really knowing God in the places that I really needed to. So fast forward to a few years back, and honestly, that was a time in my life that I really, looking back on it, I probably should have been the happiest that I've ever been. My story starts with God, I'm sure way before I can recount, but I'll start when I was 9 and I walked down the aisle at church to give my life to the Lord. And at that moment, I just knew that I needed Him. I clearly didn't know exactly what that meant or what that would mean over the course of the rest of my life. But it was clear that I needed Him. And I wanted Him, and I wanted to give my heart to Him. And so I did. If I could describe my relationship with God in a word, the first word that comes to mind is grace. He has given me His grace beyond belief. When I didn't believe, when I didn't obey, He's kept me. He's saved me. He has brought me truly from darkness into light. The verse, actually, it's several verses, but it's from Isaiah 40, and it says, "Have you not known, have you not heard, the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, neither faints nor is weary. His understanding is unsearchable, and He gives power to the weak and to those who have no might. He increases strength. Even youths shall faint and be weary, and young men shall utterly fall. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint."
If He did it for me, He'll do it for you. There's nothing that the Lord can't do. He worked it out, 'cause He brought me out. Brought me out of, 'cause He brought me out of.